Everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Fanvil. Today's host is our very good friend, Mr. Tommy Lee, Vice President of Sales in North America, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, of course, please remember to submit them in the question box so that Tommy can answer at the end of today's presentation. Tommy, thank you so much for being here with Microcom. Again, we always love to have you. I am finished for now, so please go ahead and take it on over.
Great. Thank you very much for the introduction, Julie, and welcome everyone who's online and willing to see this video. What I'm planning to do today is really provide a good overview of what we call our 2026 Hybrid Collaboration Suite. For those who have seen Fanvil webinars in the past, I've always talked about Fanvil, but there's also a subcategory called Linkvil. And this is one of the first introductions on what we talk about, which is a sub-brand of Fanvil called Linkvil. And it's based on a lot of what we call our wireless products. And for today, what I'd like to discuss is really our video conferencing products. It has become a really, we really carved out a really nice niche here. And I thought I'd like to share it with Microcom and its partners to kind of gauge what your perspective is, because I think what I have to share may end up helping your business quite a bit. When you go and look at what our hybrid collaboration product is, it really right now contains really two suites of solutions. One is our CA solution, which is CA 400, 200, and 600, which is our all video conference, which is what I'll do a deep dive. But the other half of it is really having to do with a lot of our hybrid or headsets that we're going to talk about. I won't talk about our headsets in this session, but I could probably prepare to talk about how we differentiate in our headset space in the future. But for now, I want to concentrate on one of our really successful products that we've done and introduced is our video conferencing. Here's really the main reason why, because what we've done is that video conferencing, almost every company has one in their suite that they go ahead and provide. And quite frankly, when you think about it, everybody sits down and what do they want to do? Every business wants to share their screen, not only amongst their own team, but they want to share it with a group of other people. A lot of sometimes consists of video meetings, but then you also are faced with the challenge of board meetings as well. When you do all of these things, especially now in the late post 2025, everybody is going towards wireless solutions. And we've taken that a note because everything that I'm going to present here is totally wireless, because what we've realized that as video conferencing has grown over the years, you end up having the power cable, the big HDMI cable that connects to the TV set with a camera. I mean, you end up with wires everywhere. And not only that, you've probably spent thousands of dollars with it. And when people try to use it, it almost became too complicated because you had to find a mixture of everybody who participates with different laptops. And how do you go ahead and stream all of those things in and share all of these things and make it as simple as possible? I think Fanvil really hit a sweet spot in coming out with a solution, because you know why? Number one, on the differentiators, the top three is that, yes, we came out with a wireless platform, meaning that you can go ahead and put our platform on different types of meeting rooms and it'll be entirely wireless. People are going to wonder, how in the world are you transmitting and sharing our screen with the world? Secondly, I want to say 100% connectivity. I can't tell you, I'm in the world of field sales, and I can't say how many times I've been to so many different meeting rooms and really encountered a really high-end meeting room where it requires a download of a plugin or an application onto your laptop, and then things go crazy. They download the plugin, they download the application, they realize they still can't connect, and you still have to plug in a USB to transfer whatever you want to do to a different PC that is compatible. You know why that's the case? Especially with people in the healthcare industry, as well as the banking industry or financial, many people walk around with locked laptops, which means that you can't actually download plugins. You can't even plug in a USB stick because their laptop that they walk around with is pretty much locked and to their specific organization. So really, you spend several $1,000s working on collaborating, but you really can't use it. And on top of that, we found a solution that you can really truly say that you just go ahead and you plug in and you push one button and you're off and on to go. You're not spending anything more than 15 or 20 minutes trying to find a compatibility to try and connect, and you'll connect within 1 minute. Secondly, with our CA200 to CA400 solutions, our advertised price is less than $499, which is another great spot because you're also spending a fraction less and really providing 98% of everything that what most people do when they come into your meeting room. In fact, since I've been going around, many people have actually used ours as the standalone set because people don't have to waste their time trying to plug in and find their sets. So what we've done is we really divided our solution into 3 suites. We came out a couple of months ago with the CA400. In fact, we're so proud of our CA400 that many of our distributors are actually selling this through retail channels, actually through other regions, because it is so easy to use. Because when you sell things in retail, you don't want to have to think about plugging into SIP and worrying about accounts. You just basically plug it in, and now you can go ahead and share your screen with many other people. And this is great, especially for hospitality suites where they want to offer this service to guests. They can go ahead and plug this into a nice size room, and you can offer this service to your guests. And it costs you a nickel and a dime to go ahead and offer these services. So it's a great proposition to go ahead and provide the CA400. So what I'm going to do now is really introduce the CA400, give you a little bit of a deep dive about this. And then what I'm going to do is the next thing that's in line is our CA200, because not everybody's going to want video. So you can go ahead and just want to share your screen. And we offer a much lower solution that provides that. And obviously, we also have our flagship solution. You know, even British Airways many long time ago had a Concorde, which was really written by a few. So we have our high-end video solution as well. And I'll touch base on this solution, which we plan to release in the June timeframe. So having stated that, let me go ahead and provide a little bit of an overview of our CA400. Now, the CA400 really contains 3 products, really. And what you have in every room is going to be a meeting room. Now, this is really targeted for what we call small and medium plus type of rooms, because what we have is really one item that just fits on the desk, and that's the only thing that fits there. And the other 2 items, what you have is really what we have is a controller as well as a camera that you have here. And all the wiring is done behind the sets that connects a wireless interface between what you put on the table to what we have up here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Even though we list different part numbers for each different unit, the CA400 is really a bundle of all of these 3 into one really convenient box that you could put all of these things together and have it work for you in that matter. These are the 3 items I'm talking about. With the CA400, it really provides what we call an 4K UHD camera, which really is a camera that you mount on top of your TV set, and a wireless controller, which really controls everything in the world. And this is the only thing that you find on top of your counter, or should I say the conference table. All of the wires that are needed to really interface with the USB is all hidden around this MS-10, so that it gives you the option of being able to have a really aesthetically pleasing meeting room and not having, you know, sort of a cable or a spider web of all different cables coming in and out, so that people could really look at your meeting conference room, so you could really just plug in and do your job and not worry about having to deal with the wired mess. Talking a little bit about this main piece here, this is the central conference room, which actually has a very limited speaker. And literally, when you plug in your PC, it will automatically plug in your PC. And it requires 0 downloads, 0 plugins. The idea here is that if you can show it on your laptop and you can display it on your screen, then you are 100% compatible in not sharing it with the people in your room, but also broadcasting it out so that you can share it along with your application, whether it's GoToMeeting, whether it's Teams, whether it's whatever meeting you use. you can actually, if it works on your laptop, you could end up sharing this with the entire world. And once you plug it in, it will go ahead and be compatible just with a push of a button, so that you do a screen share with the screen, as long as you're also providing this with everybody else as well. A little bit of the detail, because this works in conjunction with the controller. This is where actually a lot of the wires, if anything, takes place, because obviously this is the wireless connection that fits on top of your TV that points to this controller, where this and the controller is totally wireless. And people saying, how in the world can you transfer HDMI cable, the voice, and all the sound management all to one of the speakers? And this is the controller you could put on the back of it, and it all couples with a 4D camera that works along with it. An option that you have that you want to do besides just having just a speaker alone, you might have others that may want to share screens, so you don't have to unplug the main plug. What we have are just optional items where you can take these little plug-in devices and you can expand to 3, because sometimes you may have a table with 3 or 4 people. You know, you may want to talk a person that talks about marketing, then you want to transfer and share a table with someone from accounting, and then somebody from sales and marketing. So everybody can go ahead and just plug it in, and depending on who's the last one to push the button, that's the screen that's going to be automatically shared. But this is an optional solution. So what the CA400 does, it comes with the 3 units that's base, but if you need demand to have more, then you can buy extra CP20s to go ahead and provide wireless screen sharing from other people as well. So that's an added convenience that people that if you have a need that wants to do it. I also talked about wireless conferencing solutions, because we now are in the midst of having laptops that have HDMI cables. You have USB cables, USB-A, USB-C. How in the world can you fit this one little piece that comes out of this cable and fits on it and have it wirelessly interfaced, excuse me, to a 4K camera and having a wireless hub? There's no battery, by the way, on this thing, because the controller actually works off of your powered by the laptop, which makes an extra wireless capability done, because we know with a lot of conferencing solutions, you have to couple it with a big heavy power supply, which then drags on the floor. So you just plug it in and it works so low, it provides all the needed information to the remote controls. And as I mentioned earlier, no extra software installation, and there's no existing Wi-Fi that you have to plug into. This is just a simple plug and play wireless solution that enables anybody who walks into your room and to transmit this through all the audience. It does come with a wireless adapter. Like I said, it comes standard with a C, but you can go ahead and take apart the C, and we have all these adapters that you can go ahead and match an HDMI port if you have an HDMI port. You can match it with a USB connector. So we've thought about all the different interfaces and it provided the necessary adapter you could just plug in so that this device can have a seamless connection onto your laptop as we move forward. As I speak about the CA400, this has been a really successful product for us, and we sell hundreds, if not more, per month through all different regions. And a lot of it even goes through a retail interface. That's how easy this thing is to work. And so for those who don't really even need a video interface and you're more interested in just perhaps using the camera that's on your laptop and you want to bring it down, so you just want to share the screen, you could just settle for the CA200. And what the CA200 does, it is a smaller bundle which kind of takes the same screen controller of the CA400 and couples it with the same single adapter. This adapter is the same adapter that you can use to enhance and grow with the single plug here that couples with a camera. But if you just want a simple sharing solution, you could settle for our CA200 that provides the same. This is just a comparison that tells you the difference between the CA400 and the CA200. Keep in mind that the CA400 has an advertised price of less than $499, and this CA200 is even less. So now you're really talking about something very basic that occupies 95% of what you need in the video conferencing spaces. So yeah, does it have a built-in speaker? In this case, you settle for the speaker that's on your laptop. So you have all sorts of capabilities. This one will, the other one won't. And you also have some type of frozen mode that this one supports, but you could also supplement this with this as well. So here's a comparison. I'm not going to go over every single chart, but this is here for your reference. But it provides really the US pairing adapter on every single one of these things so that you make sure that this thing could fit on your specific laptop solution. Here are some of the expansion capabilities. I mentioned with the CA400, you can pair 3 of these things in addition to the main speaker. But with the CA200, you could buy additional CP20 so that you could have more people share their laptops and using their speakers so that you have the same capability of sharing your screen with the full audience, whether local or global. You have that, and you have the capability to expand as well, all at what we consider as a very affordable but capable price for the price set that we set this on. So for the CP20, as I mentioned, it comes with really 2 components. The CP20 plugin set along with the receiver hub that handles everything. If you don't like to use video, some people use it, some people don't. At least now we have the capability to do that. It's easy to deploy. Again, no battery to build up by the laptop so that there's no plug-in. And this one, again, is a plug and play. As well, there's no software installation, no Wi-Fi setting connections. This just works standalone wherever you have to do it. And the whole idea here is that you have a private mode so that you have a seamless switch casting between so that it actually supports all different types of connections, not necessarily sharing it with the network or anything else. What we have here is just a depiction of a smaller table. I'm actually going to provide a table list so it gives you an idea of the type of room it supports with just 2 pieces. You could just have this on the center desk along with a controller so you can provide all the capabilities that most people use in a multi-$1,000 system, but you can accomplish this in a much basic configuration depending on what. If the CA200 doesn't want to work, then you can use the CA400. In this case, the same plug and play adaptability where you can go ahead and just plug into your laptop, you push a button and you can just go ahead and make this work as I previously stated. On the back of the sharing screen, this is what it kind of looks like in the back, where it actually has the background to connect the USB 10 onto the speaker of the PC or the back of the monitor. Then you have the power cable and as well the HDMI cable, which typically connects this to the HDMI interface. And all of this controller connects wirelessly to either the CA400 as well as a CA200 interface. So you have a total wireless connection from a user experience is concerned. Again, I talked about the different expandability of the CA200, about going up to 4, but the actual bundle for the 200 comes with just 2 pieces, the controller as well as one, but that one can go ahead and expand depending on what your needs are. A deeper dive into these 2 pieces, which tells you where the hub is and kind of the things that it talks about. This is the same receiver hub that's on the CA400. So you don't want to pair it because these are actually paired to the same hub to make it more of a plug and play experience. So you don't want to mix and match them. So you want to pick and decide which ones you want to use moving forward. Last but not least, I want to talk about our CA600. What our CA600 provides, again, the same wireless capabilities, but we actually provided a lot more intelligence in what I call the center hub. This center hub is really what we call our unique triangle shape, where you actually share not only one display and speaker, but also 2 display and speakers, but providing the same coupling with a controller space that actually has a far more capable controller as well as a pan-tilt zoom camera that will zoom in on whoever goes ahead and speak. So the same type of scenario, almost similar to our CA400, except in our CA600, you have a far more capable camera, providing the same wireless capability, coupled with a much further capable device that you have on the center table. The idea here is that not only can you match and ghost this displayed with the device, but people can share it on either side of the table so that people don't have to look, and you could provide different screens depending on how you want to set this screen up. Another nice capability that's built into the CP90, which is the center hub, is that it also provides language translation. And the nice case study that I like to use with this language translation is not only does it work great in a business conference room environment, but can you imagine something like this sitting in a hospitality environment? You can travel to an international facility, say, for example, if you're in the Intercontinental Hotel or a Marriott, you could put this on the front reception desk, have it speak English or any other language on the other side to the receptionist. And then on the front side, you could end up having German, French, Chinese, Japanese, all the different types of speaking, so that you can go ahead, push a button, and it will do live interpretation on both ends, so that one end could see that. And while the other end, he could just speak to their normal language and there's no interpretation. It gets away from that mobile phone, bopping back and forth between the guest as well as the receptionist, going back and forth. This is just one capability. Not only that, but you can load software onto this unit where you can then listen to streaming language in a different language, so that you can end up having an English interpretation right on the screen. You can think even further in a healthcare environment where people can go ahead and talk in English, and then for people hard of hearing, you can actually see an English readout on the display. I mean, I could keep on going in different cases, but this is one of the capabilities that this thing does. And as I mentioned, it also has dual displays, so that you have a large speaker on both ends, coupled with a really high resolution display on both ends, so that people don't have to get up. They can sit in their chairs and take a look at what this display does on both ends of the table. I talked about the speech translation earlier, but even for convenience, it even takes NFC, so that if you wanted to log in, you could just walk in and have login controls. So you could take your mobile device and transfer any information on this device as well for simple configuration. A little bit digging deeper on our main console, not only is it coupled with a large speaker on both ends, but it also has very sensitive microphones on both ends of this device on either end. So this is really designed so that each side of the speaker, each side of the room gets equal time in terms of having good speakers. In fact, each side actually has 6 different microphones, which provides a good array, so that depending on where the speaking comes from, you could end up having the camera zoom in on that specific area, so that they can focus in on the person if that's something that you want to understand. So it's a very complicated device that you have on the center table to do that. Now getting into the cable to the camera, the CA400 does have zooming capabilities, which gives you a global view that you could zoom in on each individual and zoom back out, which is manually controlled. But here, we've really added a lot of the same 4K resolution, but then this is also pan-tel zoom, which means that the camera can move up and down and also move around depending on where the user is. This could be a great feature if you have a larger room, but a lot of people then, this finds it very, personal when you can zoom in on the person that wants to go ahead and talk. To give you an idea on the type of room this was really ideally set for, because it's a one unit that fits in the center, with the CA400, it talks about 4 meters away. So 4 meters is equivalent to like maybe 4 times 3 feet each. So this talks about 12 feet from the center of the table. So this talks about a small or medium size plus. So this will talk about medium plus types of conferences, where from here, the microphone can pick up very clearly up to 6 meters. So from where the center is, the radius from the center to the outside is 6 meters, or 6 times 3, about 18 feet. That's kind of where the distance is. And this one here would be a radius as well from where this device is, of about 12 feet. And this idea from a wireless perspective, you could have up to 30 meters away, which then if you multiply that by 3, that's about 90 feet of space that you can hook up this thing, and you can do anything shorter. That gives you kind of the range of where the capabilities of this unit is. This is kind of a summary of all the different units, comparing the device side by side, using the high end versus the C400. This one has no supply, no internet required, no software installation for casting. But on this unit, there is a power supply that does go up into it. It comes with a power supply, And if you want to connect to the internet, it also has PoE if this is something that you want to install. But the great news, it doesn't require any software installation onto the laptop in order to be able to use this device. So this is a really great device that hits 90+% of everything that you need to do at what we call at a very attractive model where you can get good returns on this investment that you put into it. This is sort of a suite that kind of shows all three products. The CA600 will be introduced sometime in the June timeframe, but we're rolling out the CA400 is something we've done months ago and it's available in production. And we're rolling out the CA200 now as we speak this month. So these things are rolling out, and that's sort of a summary of all three models that we have to talk about in this session. Now, I want to thank you for your time, and I'm just going to stay here to address any questions that anybody might end up having about our units. I'll pass the mic back to Julie.
Thank you, Tommy, so much for that presentation. It was wonderful. And yes, we do have some audience questions for you. So let's go ahead and get started with that.
Great.
Here we go, Tommy. First question. What exciting developments, and you've already talked about some, obviously, can we expect next from Fanvil and Linkville in the collaboration space?
Yes, as I talked about earlier, this hybrid model is really a lot more than just this than just conferencing. As I showed here, we're going to have a whole set of headsets as well. We have things that fit over the ear that provide sort of a nice what we call a good hidden type of thing. Then we also have over the ear and single dual models, and obviously, you know, beyond collaboration, the whole key behind hybrid collaboration is that these are all wireless type of technology that we're bringing into the marketplace. All of these, again, are just all wireless technology. These will all be DEC-based products as well as Bluetooth products. So we are putting so much emphasis that what I can share with you today is that we're coming out with all sorts of wireless products, and these are the two that we could introduce that you could begin buying today. You know, we have the wireless products that's available here, and we just introduced in the recent Channel Partners Expo a DEC-based Pro, which actually has a base set that you can actually have before you pick up the headset. You can actually hear on the call, and if you want to take it private, you could just pick it up off the headset and talk about it in your ear. You could have a single ear model that we're showing today. But we're going to be introducing lots more wireless products because the theme set of what Fanvil was all about was that we were really the endpoint, large endpoint providers for a lot of SIP endpoints, and we're always going to stay with that model. But this kind of takes it away a little bit and introduces a lot of our wireless solutions, you know, into our space as well, making part of our solution suite.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Next question here for you. How important is compatibility with third-party platforms today?
It's critical. We know that in our SIP space, we work along with a lot of the top-rated cloud-based manufacturers to assure zero-touch provisioning from the cloud so that you can deploy everything to our phones, to our security door phones, intercoms, broadcasting systems, because we want to do the work in the background so that our field partners out there spend the least amount of time to really deploy our products and get it working so that they can just move on to the next project. In today's case, with the hybrid collaboration, there's lesser of a requirement because the technology that we use, that we're actually shown here, it's compatible with all of our solutions. It's almost like saying people with an Android mobile phone or an Apple mobile phone, it's compatible with every device that you load onto it because these things were made to be fed. As I mentioned earlier, our CA400 is almost basically a retail product because you don't have to have special knowledge because it's so easy to use. Most of the time with SIP, you have to have some specialty knowledge because people have to know about configurations, but these things were really made because everybody knows how to use a headset. Most people knows how to use these conferencing units. If they don't know how to use it, then in my opinion, something is wrong with the product. But in this case, people can just come in, plug it in the way it's designed to work, and then they can share their laptop with either internal sharing or globally sharing, depending on what they want to do. And it's less tied into SIP per se, even though they use it on SIP in most cases because it's the growing platform for all UC communication. But this is just one solution that addresses many of the solutions that people throw out.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Next question here. Interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
How do your products help reduce meeting fatigue?
The meeting fatigue is very good. One of the meeting fatigue is trying to get the meeting started. I've been frustrated because the meeting could start at like say 8 o'clock a.m. and nobody's connected until 8:20. That is the one most frustrating thing. But here's a simple case where all of our products are made to really just plug and play. But meeting fatigue, here's a simple case where you have a headset with a base station on it, right? You can actually listen in to see who's on the call. And if this is just a generic call, you can have a speakerphone conversation to go ahead and talk about it, and you have nothing that's actually on your head. Some people wear their headsets full time, and some people have it part time. And for those who have it part time, you can go ahead and have a talk and just have a space set. But if you want to go private, you could then pick up this headset off the base station, and the call will transfer directly to the headset, and you can walk away and have a private conversation. So, people weren't meant to have a headset on full time, in my opinion. But for those, this is a good way to kind of solve that that fatigue in both cases.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Couple
Mm-hmm.
questions left here for you. Next one. What role does mobility play in your future product roadmap? And you just kind of talked about mobility. So,
Yes, mobility is a big deal. In fact, it's not shown in here, but some of the phones that we have some phones with a mobile Android-based mobile handset. It's not shown here. It's almost kind of shown like it almost kind of looks like this, but we have this that actually has a SIM card in it to serve as a backup, because sometimes you can have this and pick up off the base station. And not only can you work at the station in your desk or office, but you could also pick it up and move around. Because in the case of, say, in hospitality, we have a case where you can load a mobile app where you have hotel staff that's walking around doing a checklist, making sure that the soap is filled, new towels are done, and they go through a checklist, and they could just take this device, put it back on to the base station, and it'll transmit to saying all these things have been done, the room is available, let's move on. And it has a big enough screen so that when John Smith or Mary Jane walks into the room, it also can display, hey, welcome Mary, welcome John. Here's a display that you can do, and you can actually display if you need more towels or know when happy hour is that we're serving. Here's the advertisement, plus including third-party advertisers as well. That's something that I can display on maybe future webinars, but for this one, I'm just concentrating primarily on conferencing, which is more stable in one room.
thank you so much for that, Tommy. Last question here for you.
Sure.
What industries are adopting your conferencing solutions the fastest?
I would say in terms of conferencing, I would end up saying a lot of medium size as well as large size businesses. I'll give you a perfect example. We work a lot with partners out there that have multi-thousand-dollar conferencing units, and we go ahead and provide these units for them. And then when I come back on repeat stays, guess what? It's become the default platform, because sometimes you don't know where your guests are coming from with a locked laptop. And if they have a locked laptop, as I mentioned in the webinar, they can't do anything with it. But this unit, you'll be able to plug into your laptop and be able to display. So it becomes like this default unit that people can do almost all they need to do with a very expensive unit and spend 1/3 the amount on the investment to accomplish that. And so what we found is in many businesses, it's on the conference tables. And as well, it's also being used as an offering of a service for hospitality, because sometimes hospitality provides rentals of meeting rooms, and they want to say, hey, do you have something that you want to share your screen? You can go ahead and take our CA400 and share your video of the room, And it's just a simple plug and play device. It's simple for the hotel staff to set up. And it's also very simple for the end user to use because there's really no instructions. It's plugging it in and pushing a button and it works.
Terrific. Tommy, thank you so much for answering all of those questions for us today. And thank you to everyone joining this webinar. And if you have any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please remember that this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so we can all view it again. Tommy, I appreciate your time and all of this valuable information. I'm sure we all enjoyed it very much. Can't wait to have you on so we can discuss further your plans and what we got going on for later in 2026. Everybody
Thank you,
have a
Julie.
fantastic day. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, everybody.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.